and welcome to Game Changers with Vicki Abelson, and my guest tonight is Candy Clark. Look how gorgeous you are.
Thank you.
Can you talk? Can we hear you?
Candy,
I talk?
You're frozen.
Sure. Wait, I can't hear you, Candy. Candy!
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, now I can hear you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hi, everybody. Let me see if we're on Facebook. Let's make sure we're actually there. Okay, I don't see us on Facebook now. Okay, wait, somebody else clicked into it. So we are there. Okay. Okay, so a little, having some tech challenges. Oh, Candy, I'm exhausted. We haven't even started and I'm exhausted already. I know. Oh God. Okay, so people are starting to join us now. Oh, hi, Yay. Bill. Hi, Yay. Laura. Hi, Tom. Hi, Marge. Hi, Maria. Hi, Tony. Hello, beauties and COVID crazies. Okay, so Tony is telling us that.
Are these your regulars?
These are the COVID crazies, and Candy, you're one of us, which is fantastic. Because I'm trying to get it so that my light isn't in I can actually read everything on StreamYard. Candy, tell us, you look so gorgeous. You've done some
lighting.
No, come on, COVID's really agreeing with you. You look fantastic.
No, it's not.
Tell me what that means. No, it's not.
Well, right now it's the academy season, the party season, and I am stuck at home and I am sick of it. You know, this is the first makeup I've had on in months, really. You know, it just goes against my person. You know, I like to be out and about and doing stuff, and this has just been an exercise in patience, really. But I haven't, broken down yet. It's not beaten me yet. And I've got my first shot. I'm very happy about that. And I go back in 23rd to get my second one. And I'll be, still masked up, but not looking over my shoulder so much.
Okay, so tell me something. Are you, yes. I'm trying, it has the wrong information on the show because I threw in an old link. So it says that I'm here with Randy Coleman, which I'm not. And I'm trying to figure out how
Randy, I have a brother named Randy.
Do you? I'm trying to figure out how to change it and not being very successful. Let's see if I can figure out how to change it. So I've gone to parties with you and done all this stuff with you. Done a lot of the stuff with you in Academy season, and we've had some great fun. We met Burt Young, we met Timothy Chalamet. What was that fantastic girl that we met? That young, do you remember that movie we saw with that incredible young African-American girl, and we were with her at...
Oh, yeah, she was, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
COVID mush brain.
I can't remember what the, okay, so now it's letting me get into change.
I remember her, but I can't remember the movie, sorry.
I don't either, but we had a lot of fun. And those were the days,
I ran into you at a concert.
That's right. We were at the Who.
Yep.
Right? And that was pretty amazing. I'm actually changing. You're hearing me distracted because I'm actually changing the now live. I'm actually writing copy right now as we talk, but now the show will at least say that you're on it with me, which is a good thing. Okay, there we go. Oh no, it still says Randy Coleman. Oh my God, Candy, this is just making me so crazy. I can't even tell you. It's not letting me change it. Oh, I can't.
Now you're not screaming and cussing. Before you were off camera.
So everybody's on here. So let me tell you guys what happened. So I sent Candy the Zoom link as we do every week, and it wasn't working and it wasn't working. And we've been trying to get on and trying to get on. And then I was trying to remember the name of the other platform. And if that took a while, that, you know, it's just been a nightmare. So now I'm trying to figure out, I'm in this broadcast with Randy Coleman and it won't let me change it. Say that it's Candy. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that, and it's not letting me do it. So I'm just going to have to hope that people know you're not Randy
I'm not
Coleman.
unhappy.
Randy's very cute.
I'm not unhappy.
Do you know Randy is the son of Dabney Coleman?
Oh, what is that squeak happening?
I don't have a squeak.
This is faded.
I don't hear a squeak. I don't hear a squeak. Is there a squeak, everybody out there? Tell me if you guys are hearing a squeak. You still hearing it, Candy? I can't hear you now. No, your mic is off. There you are. I'm not hearing a squeak.
Why don't we just go on and just, you know, wing it?
Well, that's what we're already on. We're already on winging it.
Yeah, but all we're talking about is this thing is.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so, oh, I do hear a squeak.
Why don't we just go on and just, you know, wing it?
This is what happened.
We're already on winging it. Yeah, but all we're talking about is. Now it's repeating.
They're hearing the squeak too, so that's not working. So I'm trying to figure out now how to get rid of the squeak. It's a buzz. There's a buzz.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there is a terrible buzz, and I don't know why. High frequency buzz.
This is such a funny
You know, we're gonna, wow, and we have all these people with us. Candy, if we go on
let's get with it. Do the best we can.
Well, no.
It doesn't matter. It's just another interview.
Well, no, it's bothering everybody, so we don't want to do, they can't hear us.
Well, we can do it another day.
Well, no, so
put my makeup on again.
We're gonna, no, you're looking gorgeous. We're gonna do this. What we're going to do is I am going to go live on Facebook, and I'm going to invite you to come on while I'm on Facebook. So you're going to have to click something, which means that you're going to have to go to my page, my Facebook page. Everybody, you're in on this because you're hearing the buzz. You're going to go on my Facebook page, and you're going to see me live. And you're going to click, and you're going to look in that, you're going to click in that, you're going to watch the live broadcast. And while I'm live, I'm going to invite you into the broadcast. Okay?
Okay.
And you're just going to touch a button, and it's going to bring you in. Okay? Okay, let's go for it.
I hope it works.
It's coming from my feed, they're saying. I don't know how to change that. Let's see if I go down lower. Okay, I'm going down.
Her voice is faint.
Are you guys still hearing it from me? It's not your, so for some reason.
Hey, I got all night. I don't have any place to go.
Live on this thing. Let me try my audio settings. Let's try internal built-in mic. Let's try that. Okay, so now you still hear the buzz?
No, it's gone. Whatever you did.
It's gone.
Yes.
Okay. Yay. Okay, well, this has been an incredibly annoying. Okay, I'm now coming back to 0 and I'm getting okay. I'm okay now. All right, let's start over. Hi, Candy Clark.
Hey, Vicki Abelson.
I just turned my head.
What's in that can?
I just turned my head fast and I got dizzy. I'm like having like an anxiety attack. It's sparkling water. Yeah, I just turned my head and all of a sudden like the room started to spin. Okay, all good now. Okay, so in other words, I can't use the microphone from my, okay, see, I learned now. Oh, I'm exhausted from this. We've been doing this tech for 45 minutes. I'm not a tech person. Are you? I'm not. Oh, see, they're sending.
Am I? No. I do the best I can. That's all I can do.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to classes or anything. I just, you know.
I feel like I should go out
And
and
I don't,
start this podcast again, but I'm not going to do it. We're just going to keep rolling. We're just going to be tough. So when's your second
what
shot?
are we going to talk about?
First, I want to know about your vaccine. When did you get your first vaccine? Approximately.
The date? I'd have to.
No.
I'm
Just
going back on the 23rd, which is an exact month.
And did you get a second appointment?
Yes.
Where did you get your vaccine?
Where did I get it? At UCLA in Agoura Hills.
You are
because
so
on the public health web mentioned some UCLA clinics, and so I couldn't get on at Dodge Stadium. I couldn't get on at any of the other places, so I just scrolled on down, found some UCLA, and I went on and started filling out the form, and I got an appointment.
It's
I was
amazing.
supposed to get there at 6. I got there at 5 and parked, and then there was a small line. I was about number 8 to go in. Opened the doors at 5:30, and I did everything, including the sit down for 15 minutes, and I was back in my car.
That's
at 5:30.
Okay, now wait a minute. Somebody just said that I'm still having a buzz. Is there still a buzz? Please tell me. I can't believe it took me 6 hours at Dodger Stadium, Candy, and I didn't get a second.
I read your posts on Facebook.
So were you able to get to the UCLA? I'm doing this because a lot of people are in LA. Were you able to get to the UCLA thing right on the county website, or did you go to UCLA?
That's where I found it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I go to, doctors that work with UCLA and also with Cedars. And Cedars wasn't offering any vaccines, but UCLA was. And so I went thing and got it.
It's amazing. A friend of mine got the UCLA one. He got contacted, but it's because he has cancer. And so UCLA reached out to all their cancer patients first, from what I understand.
Well, that was good.
That's very good. And you're about 5 days behind me, so maybe things changed after I got mine. But I don't have a second appointment, and I know a friend.
Are you just going to show up in a month?
Well, they say they're going to get in touch with me 3 to 5 days before I'm due. Do I trust them to do that? So I went on the website. Well, it's a little scary. The CDC contacted me today and said, you should try to get an appointment soon for your second vaccine. And I did try to go online and do one at Dodger Stadium, and it said it gave me the right date, but then it didn't. It gave me one this week, too soon. But I know somebody that was contacted for their second shot, and it was only 18 days after her first one, and she went and got it.
Oh.
Now, would you do that? Would you take the second shot early?
My set is not early. It's like a month out. So
you already have your appointment, so it's a non-issue for you.
So
did you have any reaction to it?
Just a sore little spot, typical of me.
Just a sore spot
in my left arm. Yeah.
And no flu-like symptoms or anything like that?
Nothing.
Excellent. So how do you feel? Okay, so let's talk about what your COVID routine has been for the last 11 months. Do you see people, Candy?
The last 11 months. Not really. I let go of my pool guy, and I let go of the housekeeper at the very start of this.
Right.
And my pool. And I bought one of those creepy crawly machines over the internet way back in March.
Wait, what's a creepy crawler?
Huh?
What's a creepy crawler machine?
It's for the pool.
Oh.
It's a pool sweep thing. Anyway, I did that, and the gardener comes. Well, I had another gardener, but I told him I wanted my keys back, and so he didn't like that. He'd had the keys for 20 years, and I told him I want my keys back because anyone coming in my yard, if I didn't know they were there or anything like that. So
right.
he quit. And I got this other great guy, and because gardeners, there's plentiful here in California. And he doesn't mind that I open the door for, keep the key. Once this is behind me, I'll give him a key to the gate. But, I just want to know who's in the yard, what they're touching. So anyway, it's been weird. I knew this was coming way back in January, probably January 5th.
How'd you know?
Well, I like watching the news and anyway on the internet, and there was some films coming in, and it looked very dire. And I knew once they built that 1,000-bed hospital, like I knew this was very serious. And there was film leaking out of China where they were spraying the streets, and people were dropping dead in the street.
Right.
I'm like, whoa. And I started posting on Facebook, and I was telling people, get ready. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It was way back at the 1st of January. So if I knew, Trump definitely knew,
Right.
And,
right.
So I was just posting. A few people, probably most people thought I was nuts, but a few people, regarded what I was saying and started stocking stuff in.
Right.
When Trump announced on March 13th, March 13th, that it was a national emergency, it was a run on the supermarkets, and everything got wiped out. And it was frightening. It was absolutely frightening. But I was prepared. I had all the toilet paper in the world. You want to buy a roll? And I had, cases of water, because I started way back in January, before the panic set in. And I remember on 10th, I thought, I'll just go over to Ralph's and see what the damage is. And I went into Ralph's. This was 3 days. Trump said, get ready, national emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Too late. And I went into Ralph's, and the saddest thing I ever saw. I thought I was going to start crying. It was so bleak. All the shelves were empty, and there were a few elderly people around. There was nothing, maybe a bag of beans here and there. It was the saddest thing I ever saw. Saw anything like that in my life, and it was just frightful. And it was horrible. So I witnessed history right then and there. And we've been limping along with this, and with the unprepared management we've had. And I'm so glad we've got new management in, the Bidens. And it was really it's been quite a year. And with the vaccine, I predict that we'll probably be pulling us down just a little bit in the fall. We got a few more months to go, but we'll be out of this.
Well, now I watch CNN all the time too. And a couple of days ago, someone came on, and I missed his name, but he was saying that because of the new strains in Africa and the California new strain and the one in London, that we're actually not going to be protected from the African strain anyway.
Well, they'll make booster shots. You see how fast they make. It's all done by computer. It's not like the old days where they had to put it in eggshells and, do this long process. All computerized. They get the formula. It's like, it's just a matter of working on that. And there'll be booster shot. We don't want to get disheartened by these other things coming at us. We want to keep some hope, because if we don't, we might as well just, call it a day. And, but until I get there, I'm going to keep hope that we're going to get out of this.
I totally agree with you. And we need, and okay, so Candy, has anyone been in your house since this started?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Your cat.
And my boyfriend comes on the weekends, and that's it.
And so
I haven't done any repairs on the house or paint jobs or electrical or any of that.
And is your boyfriend as careful as you are when he's not with you? Is your boyfriend as careful as you are when he's not with you?
He's more paranoid than I am. He's
wow. Okay, well that works out well. Yes. Have you been in a store since March?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I go to Costco. You know, the minute I walk in, they have a big bottle of, you know, juice, and I juice up, and then I take the juice that's on my hand on the rail, the push, you know, the basket, the rail of the push basket, and you know, so far so good.
And
the thing with this virus is, if you get it, you do not know which way you're going to go with it. So, and I always assume that that I got to push this. I was a carrier. That's how I've treated, that I was a carrier and I could give it to someone. And you know, there's carriers out there, they're innocent, you know, they have it with no symptoms. So that's always been the really scary part of this. Is, you know, it's not like a cold sneezes and you could back away and like, oh no. You know, there's invisible carriers, which gives it a real sci-fi feeling. But,
so do you feel comfortable when you go into the store? Like, I haven't been in a store since then. Do you feel safe when you're masked and wiping your hands?
Well, you know, I take a lot of vitamins, and I pump myself up with, you know, vitamins like, and I try to keep my immune system really high. And, you know, I'm doing the best I can. You know, like I said, I'm a creature. I've always liked being amongst people and out and about. And, you know, my outing is like going to the grocery store. I handle everything. I don't pick up all the boxes and read the labels like, you know, I enjoy doing. But, you know, I try to keep my hands off and not touch everything. I do, you know, so far so good. And I've already had the one vaccine. And I'm about 45% covered right now. And this next one, I'll be like 95% covered. You know, there's always a chance that 5% you could get it, but it would probably be a mild case.
Did you have Pfizer or Moderna?
Moderna.
Okay, so with Moderna, after 2 weeks, we're actually 80% efficacy from the vaccine, one shot after 80, the Moderna.
I read it was like there.
Yeah, they changed it. They changed it in the last few days. It's 80% efficacy after one shot.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Yes, it's wonderful news.
That's good news.
Will you change your life, the way you're living, after you get your second booster? Do you think?
No, I'm going to stick with it because there's a lot of people that don't believe in vaccines, but I have a feeling they're going to change their minds once they see less people getting sick. And if people are getting sick, then maybe they won't get sick, which is a good thing, you know, but it's going to take them longer to get through the woods.
Right.
But eventually, once this virus doesn't have anybody to eat, it's going to go away like so many other viruses, you know. People,
so have you been cooking more?
We'll have a vaccine. And
have you been cooking more?
We're just limping along. Best we can.
I know. Are you cooking more in COVID than you used to?
Well, when I started, I was in the gym, and I had been, and I've gained about 7 pounds. You know, what else is there to do?
So this
kind of hooked on. Yeah.
Lynn Fit. I did this Lynn Fit. Yeah, it is because I did Lynn Fit and I did all this stuff, and then I had an allergy to something. It turns out it wasn't to that because I've been off it and I'm still anyway. So I have to do something because yeah. So I'm going to do Lynn Fit to lose the weight again because I gained in COVID as well.
7
And
pounds in it, and you know that adds up if it goes on year after year.
are
So
you able to do?
hopefully,
Go ahead.
what?
Are you able to do any
Am I
kind of
what?
exercise?
I don't like to exercise. Someone's doing it with me. It's just like, ugh, can't do it. Don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you how have you been filling your time, your days?
Well, raking, cleaning the pool, dusting, going through closets,
That's
posting
good.
on Facebook.
You have you
Chores.
have a great garden. You have an
Garden's
amazing
asleep right
garden.
now. It's
Uh,
asleep right now.
mm.
Yeah.
You had a lot of stuff in the season though. You had gorgeous looking fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. You know, but
So you
there's
also
really not enough to keep me happy, you know.
are you
But
able
what
to
can we do? We just have to go along with the program that's happening right now. You know, hadn't happened since 1980, and we got picked. So,
um are you I just saw there's people from the Dam fam here yesterday. Do you know Dan Navarro? You probably know his cousin Dave Navarro from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Well, anyway, Dan wrote the song "We Belong" for Pat Benatar, and well, he wrote it and she
oh
recorded
yeah, I
it. But
remember that.
yes, and he's got these people, the Dam fam, and I see they're joining us today. He was on yesterday. I know that you have this community of people that your neighbors, that you give each other food and stuff. Was this something
Oh
that?
yeah, because we get bored with food, so we cook enough to, you know, I give to the lady next door and her caretaker, and then the lady down, her specialty is basically desserts, and
Ooh, I saw them. Ooh, I see them.
and I photograph them. And then the
Gorgeous.
man next door bread ever so often. So, you know, we're trying to just break up the monotony by, you know, sharing, you know, cooked food, which is nice. You know, I get tired of my same, you know, recipes. You know, you tend to do the same ones over and over again.
Hmm.
So it's really been nice to share. You know, I put it on the porch and then back away, you know. But
Were you guys
I put
close
it on the
before?
porch or we reach a long arm out. Okay, you know, we're just limping along, as I say.
Were
But
you guys close before
it's
COVID? Did you exchange food before COVID?
not really.
No. Hmm.
I mean, here and there, the lady next door would cook this fabulous garlic rice, ginger chicken leg from the Philippines kind of recipe.
Mm.
She would cook too much and share it with me, but you know, this real good, you know, weekly sharing has been started. Yeah, the virus. Thank God.
So I just ordered because I just got an air fryer. Do you know about this new fangled thing?
Which newfangled thing?
It's called an air fryer.
Oh yeah, my uh, Trish, the neighbor lady, has one of those.
So I haven't, I'm COVID crazy, so I haven't taken it out of the box yet because it just came yesterday. But that's going to be my new thing. You can fry things without using oil, and it grills
But I
without going.
like oil.
I'm,
That's the flavor.
I know, but I'm trying to. My cholesterol's high. I want to lose weight, so I'm trying to figure things out. Anyway, so that's going to be my new toy. What's been your go-to? What are you eating in COVID? Are you eating like something specific a lot?
Soups. So
Yeah.
I make enough for others. Oh, ribs.
Real? How do you
Ribs.
cook ribs?
Slow cook them in the oven, like at 225 for a couple of hours, with some seasoning on, and then you bring the heat up and with your barbecue sauce, and it's so tender. They're ready when the meat shrinks back from the rib bones.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna have to talk to you about the recipe for this. And what's your favorite? I've been making chicken soup and I'm sick of it. What kind of soups are you making?
You need neighbors.
I know. What kind of soup?
Start sharing.
Well,
I made pea soup the other day.
Ooh, that's good. Do you put ham in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I want that recipe. I'd love that.
Yeah, I put bacon in.
Okay, so you're a Texas girl. So let's talk. Oh, do you want to talk politics at all? I mean, I don't even know if you want to talk about it. We were supposed to have this show on the day of the insurrection, and there was no way. And you were very emotional about it. How are you feeling? Are you feeling more?
I was crying my eyes out. That was as bad as 9/11 for me.
Horrible. How horrible.
Horrible. Yeah, and those two, it was a day of rejoicing, really, because the two men from Georgia had won seats in the Senate, and as Ossoff, is that his name? Ossoff, and what's the other guy's name? Anyway,
yeah,
just won, just announced, and they didn't even get to celebrate because 5 minutes later there was a
oh right, what is the other guy's name? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Yes, oh yes, and they didn't even get to celebrate at all.
They didn't even get a party.
Nothing.
They got announced, and then all hell broke loose.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so they're owed a nice party, a celebration with champagne. They probably just, it was announced, they were told they were the winners, and then bam.
Warnock.
Yeah, it was horrible. They didn't.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn.
It's just like being at the Academy Awards, and then suddenly the lights go out, and there's a malfunction. Just as they list the 5 people's winner, nominees, and then boop.
God. Well, and then somebody throws a bomb into it, and
yeah. Someone throws well, let's not even bring that into the mix.
Right.
But it was a day. I was freaked out, and I figured, what are we going to talk about? It'd be way too frivolous to go on and talk about, fashion
Absolutely.
or rock concerts or whatever. So we canceled and we got together today.
Absolutely. And it was the right thing to do. So a lot of these people weren't with us the last time we did this. I don't know, 2-3 years ago. It was actually the first day we met. And it was thanks to, I think, Lynn Stewart, your gal from American Graffiti, who connected us.
Oh yeah, Lynn Stewart. Yeah.
Okay, so Candy, for the people here who don't know,
is anyone on with us?
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of people, and they're all saying how much they love you. You want me to read some comments? Deb says you're her. Deb says you're her new hero. She doesn't like to work out either. I'm hearing you have a beautiful smile. You look beautiful. People are talking about the vaccine. Yeah, everybody's with us. Yeah, they're all commenting.
Okay, so good.
They're here. So for these people who are meeting you for the first time like this, they've seen your work, but they don't know you as a person. So I know you're from Texas. What part of Texas are you from, Candy?
What part? You broke up.
Yeah, what part?
Fort Worth, Texas.
So were you a city girl, or what was your? Was it city? Did you live in the city?
Oh no, Fort Worth is a nice city. It's back then when I left, it was the late 60s, and I moved to New York. But it's all grown up now. It's always been very competitive to Dallas.
Right.
But we have a lot of art museums, and the downtown Fort Worth area is all, a lot of fun. The are still, and we get a lot of tourists, and there's a lot going on.
And so was it, were you sophisticated when you were young?
Sophisticated? Probably just basically me. I am now, but a little shyer, a little more quiet, but
Were you you're so gorgeous. Were you the popular girl in school?
No, not at all. No, we were very, very, well, we had no money and we had no car. And so, those are two things you need to be popular.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So no cheerleader, no any of that stuff?
No, I was Miss Plum. I went to a technical high school where you learn a trade.
Uh-huh. What was yours?
Yeah. And they need more schools like that. They're really great, and it prepares you for the workforce.
And what were you being prepared to do?
Be a secretary receptionist.
See, I know the story. I'm asking
what
you
else?
I know the answer to these questions, but I'm asking because everybody else doesn't, so I'm playing dumb. But I know you were going to be like a secretary receptionist, right?
Yeah, the front desk.
And did you ever get to do that?
Yeah, I did. I was at a company called Dixon Jenkins, which was a Western wear manufacturing company, and I was the front desk. I would answer the phone, good morning, Dixon Jenkins. Dixon Jenkins. and I typed. I had a dictaphone, that you put in your ears, and you you type letters. And no, I enjoyed it.
And did you? Oh, you did. Okay, so why?
I like all kinds of.
And at the time, there was no dream to be an actress. You didn't do school plays.
No. That was so far out of my realm. But
okay, so how did the trip to New York happen and why?
My friend Judy and I did some modeling at the Dallas Apparel Mart one season, and you work for a manufacturer, and the buyers come in, I guess, from New York and different places, and clothes, you go back behind the curtain, you change, you show them, the lineup for the season. And the guy that had hired me and my friend Judy, he said, if you're ever in New York, look me up. And that's the last thing you don't do teenagers, because they'll take you up on it. So my friend Judy and I started planning our trip to city, and we were going to look him up. And I had my one-way ticket, $40 youth fair ticket on TWA. And
wow, $40. Oh my God.
$40.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And my friend Judy, I waited and waited. She totally disappeared. We planned this, and she had her ticket too. And at midnight, I said, you know what? I'm going. I'll work when I get there. So I went there with I don't know, another $40 in my pocket. And,
wow.
When I was playing, and the sun was coming up, and I saw New York City from the sky, and it was all pink and gold light. And I said to myself, Candy, you're never going back to Fort Worth. And I moved to New York City from the air. I knew I would love it. And I walked around. I only had a little bag. I got out of the airplane and somehow made my way into New York City. I don't remember how, but I was like Joe Buck in Midnight, with my little suitcase, looking at all the tall buildings. I couldn't believe it. I just loved it so much. And I started meeting people, and I went and knocked on. I had the guy's card, and I went and knocked on the door. It was the '60s, so it was acceptable to do that, and
Right.
I kind of couch surf with different people. And
did you have money? How much money did you have, Candy?
I had about $40.
Oh my God. How did you have
I was
those?
just gonna stay for a few days, and I moved.
Okay, so how did you eat?
Stay.
How did you eat with 40 bucks?
People fed me.
Because you were gorgeous. So that kind of. By the way, everybody.
I needed help. I look like I needed help.
Everybody wants to know what your beauty secrets are. They're saying how gorgeous you are on the thread.
Makeup.
No,
low lighting.
You're gorgeous. So how did you start to earn? How long did it take you to start making money, and how did you do it?
Oh, I finally got an apartment, and it was $125 a month, and I couldn't afford that by myself. I had to get a roommate. Can you imagine getting a roommate because you can't afford $125? But I'm living on 50 cents a day, and I had to make these decisions every day. Do I buy a pack of cigarettes?
Oh, God.
Do I buy a head of cabbage? Or do I take the bus? Because I walked a lot there. And I tried to get it, and I worked for this guy. It was really great. And I was trying to build my modeling portfolio. And I worked with this man for, I don't know, $3.25 an hour or something like that. And he let me keep my own hours. Just come in when you can, all of this stuff. I lived at the Barbizon for a while, and in one of those single rooms with a sink in there and the bathroom down the hall.
Oh, wow.
It's all great fun. It really was. It was a great adventure. And I remember at place to live, the Barbizon, it was snowing. It was the first snow I'd ever seen. Looking out the window of this place, looking out, and I had my first pomegranate in my hand, and I'm like, eat my first pomegranate. Because in Texas, they didn't have pomegranates. They barely had avocado. So,
and so were you eating on the cheap in New York? Because in New York, you can really eat on the cheap.
Well, I would buy a head of cabbage. I cooked a lot of cabbage. It was one of my favorite foods, and easy to cook, and it's filling.
Was it?
So, yeah, cabbage is. Yeah.
And you were really skinny. I've seen pictures. You were really slim.
Yeah, I was really skinny, and you had to keep your weight down, and I was walking a lot, and trying to build my portfolio. And then, for the longest time, I was confused about modeling. I was stiff, and I thought that you froze for the camera, and you just held that pose. And so I was really uptight. But later on, the more I did it, the more I realized you keep moving and the camera frees you. And once I made that discovery, I was like, wow, this is easy. I love it. And, I started getting work, and some regular clients. I worked for 17 magazine and Ingenue, all the teenage stuff.
So, all right. So that's what I was going to ask next. So you were getting 17 magazine and that kind of stuff. And is your money growing as you're getting better jobs and stuff?
I was making, models back then, I mean, they were making $50 an hour. So it was quite lucrative. And I really wanted to stick with it when I decided, hey, how about supplement your income by doing extra work?
Right.
And this was about 4 years into living in New York and my little apartment. Still there. All right, it was the last time I saw it. It was
Wow.
127 East 34th Street, 5-floor walk up. And down the street was, 127 East 34th Street. And down the street was the Empire, and a big armory was on the corner. And I lived between Park and Lex, and it was real centrally located. And across this 5 floors up, off of a winding staircase. So there weren't many apartments there. And I used to
crazy.
go
Yeah.
and watch across the street Bickford's, which was a 24-hour coffee shop. Sit in my window and watch imps and the call girls coming and going.
Wow.
It was quite interesting. And it was a really great time. I have memories of that time spent in New York City.
So how long were you doing? My mother lived on 35th and Park, by the way, but some years later. How long did you do that with the modeling? How long was that a part of your life?
About 4 years. Well, trying to figure it out, and then a couple of years of getting some, regular clients and, getting repeated, bookings, which is always good. And my last agency I was with a company called Zoli. I'd been with all of them from Ford to, and then my last one was a company called Zoli.
And so how did you make the transition from modeling to acting?
Well, like I said, I wanted to supplement the income with some extra work, and I went over to this casting agent's office and I gave him my picture, and he got me into this crowd scene in this movie called Who is Harry and Why is he saying those things about me? And I was in a crowd scene of about 200 people.
Wow, yeah.
And Dustin Hoffman starred in the film. So the scene that we were doing was him at the end of a workday coming through a revolver with these crowd of people, office workers, I assume. And he has a violin or a guitar in the case, and the thing is, would drop it, it would get kicked along, and he was going after it. So we did this a million times, but it was fun. So what I really liked about it was the extras would be sitting in bleachers, waiting to be called, and there would be a big table with donuts and all kinds of things to drink and eat. And I thought, God, I like this. I want to do more. So I went back to the cast. Yeah. Donuts, sitting around, working here and there, and easy money. So I went back to the casting guy's office, and it was timing. I mean, so many times I've been in the right place at the right time. I walk in there, and it's Lynn Stallmaster's office in New York City. And I say, have my picture, and I said, I really would more this extra work. And there was a man standing next to him, and turned out it was Fred Roos, famous casting director.
Nice.
Who wound up casting me in Fat City and American Graffiti. So I was just right at the time, and he said, hey, Fred said, hey, I'm going to be going to watch him shoot the screen test for The Godfather. Do you want to come? And he said, the 60s and the 70s, it was, a stranger asked you to do something, or you stay on someone's couch, and, there was nothing to be. You just, okay. And so, yeah, that era was very trusting, open, and it was great. And so I wound up going out to, I think it was like Brooklyn or Queens, I don't know where, but some studio where Francis Coppola And Jimmy Caan and all these actors were trying out doing screen tests.
Wow.
And yeah, right place, right time. And so I showed up. I started showing up because I really enjoyed watching it. And, the door was open, so why not? And so Francis Coppola and I had this little routine we started doing. And I had a hat and a cape. And we started doing this little stupid thing where it was a long cape, a long black cape, and he would pretend that he was winding me down. And so I'd bend my knees and crouch, and my feet would disappear. And then he'd wind me back up, and then I would be standing up straight. It was just nothing.
Oh.
And we filmed, or he filmed us doing this, Francis.
Right.
He told me years later, he almost was fired for frivolously wasting film and time.
Wow.
Almost fired for that.
You almost brought down the big man.
Exactly. By accident. So,
Yeah.
But luckily he didn't get fired. So
he didn't put you in the movie though.
No.
Did that connection continue? Like, have you seen him since?
Well, he had a studio here in Los Angeles called Zoetrope, and they were offering acting classes and stuff, and I joined up with that. And then he did a little when digital started coming in, a long time ago. He first realized the importance of that. He shot a little short film. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I was in it, and Terry Garr and but Cindy Williams, a bunch of his. But no, I don't see him. And then he went into the food and wine business, and I think he's done very well.
Yeah, he's done pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
So how did you go from being a guest on the set to getting behind the camera, in front of the camera?
Kept me in mind, and I don't know what was so attractive about me or my personality, whatever, but he started calling me to try out for this movie in a film called Fat City, and Houston film. And I kept saying, nah, I just want to be an extra. I really don't want to do acting.
The only actress ever to say, no, I want to be an extra. I don't want to do acting.
I loved it. I did it once, and it was great, and I was hoping for more. But anyway, he just kept persisting, and then he sent me the sides that he wanted me to try out for, and I just kept saying, I don't know how to do this, and I was always a poor student in school, so I had no memorizing skills. So finally, he wore me down, and I went out to California and I tell you, I did, and I fell in love with Los Angeles. That's how fickle I am,
Well, they're both pretty great.
So anyway, huh?
They're both pretty great cities.
Yeah. Right? And so I was enjoying LA, staying at the Chateau Marmont.
How did you wait? How did you get to stay at the Chateau Marmont?
I came out for a screen test.
And they
finally caved in and said, okay.
But you had enough money to stay at the Chateau Marmont?
What?
Did they put you up there, or did you pay for it?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
I was reluctant. I did not want to try out for any movies. And so anyway, the big day came when it was my audition for this. And I hadn't memorized. It was a complicated. Now that I look back, it was a very complicated scene, and the character is supposed to wind up crying. I had no idea how to do that, And so they said it's a reading. So I remember I went to Disneyland, and Fred Roos got his assistant named Lloyd Keno to drive me, since I was here, and I had no car and I didn't know how to drive. So anyway, we went to Disneyland and hat. So my idea was, when it gets to the crying, I'll have this hat on and I'll just kind of hide behind this hat, the big brim. Said Disneyland across the front. And so my big day comes, and I wore this silk blouse, kind of like a model, very, expensively. And
Right.
yeah, silk in the middle of summer. So I'm sweating bullets down to my waist, like. So I was so steaming and, nervous besides. And so I go in, and there's John Hughes and Ray Stark and a guy named David Dworsky and Fred Roos. And I looked at Fred Roos like, and he looked at me, he stared at me like he never met me ever in his life, like just cold and icy.
Oh my God.
Like freaked out, sweating in this silk blouse. Oh, it was awful. And I had this Disneyland hat. Disneyland across the brim. So and I'm actually reading the script. I'm not doing any acting. I am reading the lines, because I thought that's what they meant when you come for a reading. And no memory work whatsoever. Just like head down reading. And so then here comes the crying part. It's coming. Oh God. And so I thought, duck your head and go. I did. Anyway, I pop up after that and I make a run for the elevator. And I'm like, hear feet running behind me. And I'm like, oh God, no. And I'm pushing the button. And it's them, and they're saying they want you back for a screen test. And I just said, no, I just want to be an extra. I just want to be an extra.
Oh my God. No actress ever.
A couple of weeks later, I'm back. And I'm put back up at the Chateau Marmont. But meanwhile, I called my mother. I said, you got to come and help me memorize these lines. And so and the big day came, and it was a real screen test. And it was a scene where Jeff Bridges and I are sitting in this, and I'm kind of nagging him about getting married, and, and I'm like modeling like, stay relaxed and just kind of, model your way through this and say the lines. And oh my God. And I remember the other two women young ladies were there. Margot Kidder and Jennifer Salt were my competition.
Wow. You beat out Margot.
These were experienced. Experienced actresses. And here I am modeling my way test. And they had this.
But Tony, did you ever get to see the screen?
Jeff Bridges,
Tony asked if you ever got to see the screenplay, the screen test.
Do what?
Did you ever get to see your screen test? Did you ever get to watch? Okay, so this is
I thought Jeff Bridges was so cute, and I was just my acting partner for the screen test. So I guess he thought I was cute too, because next thing I know, I got a job and up in Stockton, California, and we were shooting, and
and maybe and kind of
Difficult for me.
falling in love.
Difficult for me. But John Huston liked me, and so did Ray Stark, even though I was kind of floundering as the character. But you know, it was really fun.
And so you and Jeff.
There's more to the story, but I'm just going on and on.
No, that's okay. So, but that's where you met Jeff, and you guys did your relationship
We met on the screen test. We met on the screen test.
And did your relationship start on that? Did you fall in love on that?
Yeah, on that day.
On that day.
So I guess he put in a good word. Yeah, I like her. Let's go. But,
and from what I recall, he was coaching you on set. Is that true? Was he coaching you?
No, they really hired the wrong person for this job. And my part was being whittled down to a few scenes. It was quite a large, and they hired this acting coach to come up, a guy named Jeff Corey, who was a real hardcore acting coach. And Jeff, I mean, we would have to do these sessions with this guy. And I had no idea. Language of acting teachers and all of that is totally different from modeling. And so I had no idea what he was talking about. And he liked to do these stream of consciousness that he would try to get me to do. And he would do like just weird stuff, say blood, falling, you know, wild, rabbit, and just all this weird words connection. I'd wind up crying, you know. Jeff too, I think. We were, and anyway, it was a wonderful trip. I loved. We shot it up in Stockton, and you know, and Susan Terrell was in the movie, and Stacy Keach, and oh God, Leonard Gardner wrote it. It was great. It was kind of like a Stein story, Fat City, really an undiscovered film, really good. And John Huston, he liked me because I basically failed him, but you know.
So is it something that we can? Is it something we can find now? Is it still acceptable?
It's you know, it's a classic film. It's John Huston. Stacy Keach was nominated for her character of Oma, and it's about the seedy side of boxing. It's basically about people who are and have hopes and dreams, but don't want to work for it. Kind of like Candy Clark, but but you know, it's Stockton was a wonderful place, and Ray Stark was a producer, and every weekend he would have parties for the cast, and John Huston would be, you know, I became very fond and realized the magnitude of John Huston when I tried out for the thing, I didn't, you know the players or the names of people or who was who or what was what, but I soon realized how cool he was. And gosh, he would be, you know, he was very tall and very thin, and he also dressed the part time director in matching bush suits. And I remember we shot at night once, and he had on like a Sherlock Holmes hat, you know, the double hat with the ear flaps, and a matching cape. And he always wore gorgeous shoes. Yeah. I mean, he was a clothes horse. But fall was he smoked Dunhill cigars, and that eventually, you know, did his health in. But boy, was he magnificent as a, you know, had these great lines and wrinkles in his face, and tall and thin. Anyway, they would have parties every weekend, and I remember sitting, you know, John Huston would be sitting in a chair, and Jeff and I'd be sitting on the floor, you know, at the great John Huston, and he was be drinking tequila with the worm in it in the bottle,
Wow.
and he'd be trying
Yeah.
to get us to drink with the worm in, and we're like, ooh, So, but it was just a blast. And Susan Terrell lived on a houseboat, because in Stockton there's all these canals and houseboats, and I just remember she was quite the character. And Jeff and I went over to her houseboat one day, and she had this guy that she had met who played the pie plates and the spoon. He entertained us. But yeah, it's just like one big adventure, one great thing after another up there. And Conrad Hall shot it. Ray Stark was so enamored with John Huston that he would get up at like 4 a.m. and go over and cook John Huston breakfast. And people love John Huston. Yeah.
Wow.
What a treat.
So okay, so you did that, and so you and Jeff started living together after that, didn't you?
Yeah, and we were together for about 4 years. A lot of fun.
Is he as Yes, he is wonderful as I think he probably is.
He is very easygoing and plays the piano. Then he was, I guess his big break was The Last Picture Show, and he had done some acting before, and he was nominated when we were together. And I had just recently put a picture of him and his family, and Jeff dressed in his tuxedo with those crazy shoes on and those see-through socks, And I remember we all went down to, it might have been the Dorothy Chandler or the Shrine Auditorium, one of those places. And, it was really fun times. But Jeff, always played instruments and would write songs, and, it was just, I would beans, pinto beans, And we lived way out up in the hills of Malibu, when property, you could buy an acre of land for $2,000.
Oh my God.
Realized, hey, and he had the money to do it. And I think he bought acres, and I didn't. Dang it. But anyway, 2020 hindsight. But yeah, times, good days,
Somebody just asked, Sharon just asked, how did you develop memorization skills as an actress?
That's my least favorite part, but I do it by a lot of repetition, and sometimes I have to hire someone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can convince the other actor to run lines with me, or my boyfriend John, who hates doing it, will do it.
So Candy, after you did that film and they cut your part down, how did you then, was American Graffiti, what was the next film after that?
The next project, see, I was never good at auditions.
Okay.
And, saying this stuff, but I did a room 222 in between, and I was going out, because young actresses and actors, that's the prime people that get hired, so there's plenty for them to try out for.
Right.
It took it took a while to it was just another audition, and it was called American Graffiti, and it was a year after Fat City.
Oh wow.
I couldn't get a, but I was getting a lot of appointments. I'm surprised they kept trying with me. But so I go in and I think, by golly, I am dressing. I heard that it took place in the 50s. So I have my hair pulled back in a ponytail, and I have some saddle oxfords on, a Letterman sweater with a ring, on a chain, like I'm going steady. And I go in this, I'm the only one dressed like this in the outer lobby, and there's other actors there, and of course I'm really embarrassed, and my name gets called and I go into this really tiny office, which had a desk in it, but it was so small that the desk, the room, and my back was basically against the wall. And there was a man sitting across the desk, and that was George Lucas.
Oh my God.
Really young. And he really had nothing to say to me. He's at that time very introverted and very shy. So I leave, and it's very brief. And I call my manager, Pat, and say, well, did it again. Struck out. And so, she said, oh, that's okay. There'll be more. Anyway, so a couple of weeks go by and I get a hold of the script, American Graffiti. I don't know how I did, maybe through Pat, maybe just sitting in her office and it was sitting around. I don't remember, but I realized it was in the 60s, which I knew. And I said, Pat, you got to get me back in. I said, I love this script. It's fantastic. And she said, well, once they see you and they reject you, they don't want to see you again. So I begged and begged and begged. And I don't know how she did it, but she got me back in. And so I went on the appointment again, same place, same little tiny office, my against the wall, the desk in between, there's George Lucas. We chat very slightly. I didn't mention that I'd been there before.
And he didn't
remember me, the ponytail. I did not mention it. I just had dressed as myself. And the next thing I knew, I was being called in screen test. And
wow.
It was, yeah.
Wow.
And we shot the screen test of films, which was Haskell Wexler's commercial shooting house. And I swear to God, there must have been 200 actors there. You could cut the tension with a knife.
Wow.
There's so many people, because there was a lot of parts in the movie.
Right.
So I'm sitting on this bench, trying to memorize this, going over and over, and getting tenser and tenser. Anyway, so they call my name, and I go, I'm being led to this little alcove out of sight of everyone, thank God. And I meet Charles, and there's a park bench that's doubling for the car. And it's the scene where he's saying, just Buenos Dias, and telling me I look like Connie Stevens. And I said, really? I thought I looked like Sandra Dee. And, when I realized that he was, I just kind of didn't try, because I wasn't going to get the part anyway, because he was, just the configure of it. But lo and behold, I got the part. Some of these things I just can't figure out,
Do you believe in destiny? Do you believe that we kind of follow a path? No. So just blind luck.
Just blind luck happen,
And when you guys were shooting that film, did you have any idea of what it was going to become?
I mean, it was really good, and I really love the characters and the scenes. And I thought Charlie and I had the best parts of the whole film.
Fantastic.
And Charlie and I drove. Since I decided to get my Volkswagen up there and have because being in the Bay Area, and I wanted to be able to, on my off time, be able to go someplace. And so we took off about 4 a.m. down in Santa Barbara, which isn't very far from LA.
Yeah.
And the engine goes up and had to be overhauled. Luckily, we found someone that could do this. And I just remember seeing Charlie lying on the sidewalk, exhausted. People are overhauling the Volkswagen engine out of their home garage.
Wow.
Anyway, we finally arrived. We left at about 4. We finally in San Francisco. It was before cell phones, so they had no idea what we were up to. Finally get there, and where have you been? You got to try on wardrobe. And it was like midnight, and we were really pooped and driven off San Francisco after overhauling an engine, and they had some couple of vintage dresses from the secondhand store and some old shoes and stuff. It was a low budget film, so nothing was custom made. And I tried on that blue and white dress, and it fit perfectly. No alterations. So
wow.
This will work. This is it. And they had these really funky old, well-worn Capezio shoes, and said, I always wanted a pair of Capezio, but I could never afford them. And so I had my first pair of Capezio shoes on, and I always wanted a spaghetti strap dress, and there I had that. And luckily I thought I had enough to get a sweater, because it turned out when we were shooting, it was so cold and foggy up in the Petaluma Bay Area.
Wow.
That's the only thing that saved me. So, I mean, we would be trying to do these scenes and have to pretend it was a hot summer's evening, relaxing. And when they would say cut, it's like, oh my God, it's freezing.
Oh God. Wow.
So, call for some real atmospheric acting,
Wow. And so many incredible people in that. I mean, so many people got their start. Okay, Harrison Ford, Richard Dreyfuss, Paul had already been, Ron Howard had already been, Cindy Williams, Lynn Stewart, Mackenzie Phillips. I mean, wow, what a cast. It was crazy.
I know.
Did you guys
came up all along?
Really? How old was she?
Like 11.
Oh my God.
Put her on a plane. Hey.
Wow, that's crazy. Did you guys have any idea when you were doing it that it was going to turn into this thing?
I knew it was going to be very successful. It was so well written, and it was about, what was so interesting about that is that was what we did in Fort Worth, Texas. We would cruise, we would look for action, you'd go from one restaurant to the next and then start over again, just crawling along. And little did we know that USA was doing the same thing. So when that movie came out, they had a screening at the Old Writers Guild, which was a wooden building. And I remember they had some little hamburgers, and this was our kind of cast and crew screening party. And, it was packed. I just remember it was packed, and I was sitting on the steps, and when the clock came on, the song, and the audience jumped up out of their seats and cheered.
Oh.
And I thought, we got a hit. And
wow.
Sure enough, it was massive. And American Graffiti, George Lucas wouldn't have become the billionaire that he is today. It opened doors for him, because the prior to that he had done was THX 1138, which never caught on. And what is funnily enough, I saw the movie in the theater in New York City. I'd actually paid to see it. Isn't that weird? Small world.
It is a small world. So,
and I remember thinking, what a dumb movie, because it was just Robert Duvall running through a underground parking lot, seemed like 2 hours being chased, it's like, okay.
So what happened?
We've been on for a while. Is
I know,
everybody okay out there?
Yeah, they're still here, still asking questions and stuff. Are you a what? Are you a pharaoh?
Yeah, I've been tied behind a car and dragged.
Really?
Yeah.
That
That was the initiation. That's the blood initiation.
Wow. Wow.
They know what I'm talking about.
They know. Phil knows. Suzanne Summers was the girl in the T-Bird. Somebody said, yeah, I actually played a part like that in another little movie right after that. Anyway, I just ordered a Thigh Master. I had a Thigh Master and it broke, and I
have one. It's still in the box.
I ordered my official Suzanne Summers Thigh Master. It's coming tomorrow. I'm so excited.
You could have talked to me. I would have sent it. I would have said, come pick this thing up.
Come on, that's a good thigh. I've been using a Thigh Master for like 40 years. When I use it, it's actually a pretty good.
Let me see your thighs. Prove it.
I use it in my arm. I use it mostly for my arms, actually. But I haven't been doing it because I broke mine about a month ago, and my thighs are horrible. You broke your arm. No, I broke my Thigh Master. I have a lot to do. So we have been on for a long time because we had a long way to get him. So I want to talk about the Academy Award, and I want to talk about David Bowie and The Man Who Fell to Earth. So how did the Academy Award nomination come about? Because you have a great story.
Well, let's see. How did it come about? Okay. Well, the movie came out as a big success. Mm-hmm. And back then, the studios were not spending a lot of money in the trade papers running Academy, not like they do today. Mm-hmm. Millions advertising their films. But back then, if you wanted to get a nomination, good luck. So you know what? Since I'm in a business, I think I'll spend money on on myself. And so I ran these quarter-page ads for about 2 or 3 weeks. And traded it off between the Hollywood Reporter and Variety and spent a couple of $1,000s of money that I really didn't have to spend since I couldn't get past and we were paid for American Graffiti. It was a low budget film. We were paid scale. I think I made like $300 a week. I can't even remember. It was pretty low. And so golly, I am going to run my own campaign. And I did. And lo and behold, it worked. So,
wow.
Other people have copied my campaign idea. And Sally Kirkland for Anna, and this other actress, I can't remember, she copied. Anyway, why not?
And so how was it going to the Academy Awards as a nominee? Jeff Bridges was your date, wasn't he?
Yes, it was. It was, as a nominee, I got the phone call about 6 a.m. And from my PR guy. And up until the actual of the award, I was being, flowers and phone calls and hugs and kisses. I was the center of attention, which was great. I really. And the night came, and I knew I wasn't going to win. I thought Sylvia Sidney was going to win. And I had another job too. And the Mike Frankovich was the producer called Report to the Commissioner. It was a movie I was supposed to do. And, I'd gone to New York, and it was about underground, or what's it called? Policemen that are not underground, but they're, pretending they're not, like drug dealers. What are those type policemen called? Come on.
Undercover cops.
Police.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Undercover cops. Yeah.
So we're in Grand Central Station, and they say I'm trying to act like a junkie. And I remember we're soliciting for drugs. And I remember this undercover policeman,
Yeah.
like he's looking for drugs. He's going, heroin. You know, I was like, we're in Grand Central Station, for goodness sake. I'm an actress, you know, pretending to be someone that needs drugs. Anyway, this drug dealer comes up and he says, why is she acting like that? What's wrong with her? And I'm like scratching and overdoing. And I'm like, oh gosh, woman's busted.
That's funny.
Doing that. Anyway, they said, you know, when it comes to changing money and drugs, you have to look the other way unless you want to court and be one of the witnesses. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, I was doing the research, got the wardrobe together, all that stuff. Anyway, I go to the academy. In the meantime, in between getting that job, a film called Report to the Commissioner, there was a film festival in Columbia. And Jeff and I went down, and I brought my own food, and everyone laughed at me. I brought peanut butter and crackers, and I was not to get the turista. And before I left, I got a smallpox vaccination that really took. Remember those? They give you one smallpox with a piece of glass. Anyway, it really took. I mean, it was inflamed, and everyone is patting you on the shoulder, and you know, we're at this film festival, and I'm being super careful. And gone to the Board of Health, and they said, you know, there's some hepatitis down there. Just, you know, watch out for anyone with yellow eyes.
Oh God.
Anyway, so I remembered I was taking a shower at the hotel, and it took forever to get to Cartagena, Colombia, but taking a shower, and I remember water going into that wound, and I thought, uh-oh. And then I thought, nah. Anyway, we come back 2 weeks later, it's the Academy Awards. I'm looking in the mirror, I'm putting on my makeup, I'm like, wow, where'd you get that tan? Looking good. You know, turned out I had hepatitis. Yeah. I had to think of everyone that I had hugged or kissed at the Academy Awards and call them up and say, I am in the hospital. Go get a gamula goblin shot, or however you say it.
Oh my God.
I know.
You had to call like every like movie star and every, oh my God. That is, oh my God. That's mortifying.
I've got infectious hepatitis. And this was after the Academy Awards. You're looking in the mirror and going, wow, where'd you get that tan? And what I was actually turning yellow. And great time at the awards. I was with Jeff, and I knew I wasn't going to win. And I was looking at Sylvia Sidney because I thought she'd get the sentimental vote. You know,
wait, who won that year?
Well, so Linda up, Sylvia Sidney, Tatum O'Neal, and what's her name? I'll think of it in a second. Anyway.
Oh, Tatum O'Neal won.
I'm like looking down the aisle. Huh?
Tatum O'Neal won that year, didn't she, for Paper Moon?
Yes, she did. So I'm looking down the aisle because I want to actor, and I want to see what it looks like, actually looks like for someone to win the Academy Award. So I'm looking at Sylvia Sidney, and I got my eye on her. And they say, and the winner is Tatum O'Neal. I'm like, what? Anyway, Tatum goes up. She's in a little tuxedo. She's like 9.
Yeah.
And she takes it.
I remember that, actually.
Oh, my God. And then, so I lost Report to the Commissioner. And I begged them, please wait for me, please. I couldn't. You know, they were all booked. And I remember seeing the movie when it came out. And there was Susie in all my wardrobe, you know, just hired overnight. So she didn't get to do any research that I had done. So anyway, that's how it goes.
Okay, so all right, so we've been on forever, but we have to talk about David Bowie before we go. How did The Man Who Fell to Earth happen? How'd you get that?
Are you sure we're not taking up too much time? People's time? I mean, they were gone for a long time.
It's pandemic. We got one more story in us. They're still here, so let's tell them.
Are they? Is anyone there? I don't see anyone on my side.
They're still here. They're still here. Same people.
How many people? Who's out there?
Tony's here. Deb is here. Rob is here. I don't know. They're here. They're here. Phil is here. No. There's people. So how if you don't want to tell the story of how you got the part, just tell me what. I'm hungry and running out of steam too. But you have to talk about David Bowie for a second before we go, because it's just too.
Have me back.
I will have you back. Just tell a quick story about Bowie. What was it like to work with Bowie? Just tell us. Don't tell the whole story. Hi, Catherine.
It's so long.
Well, don't tell the whole story. Just give us highlights. Was it wonderful?
I got a part in a film called Earth, and David Bowie was hired, and then we went to New Mexico and shot the film.
And did you like him?
Of course.
You did full frontal nudity with Bowie. I mean, it's like mind blowing.
Who told you that?
I saw it. I watched it. I've seen the movie.
Yeah, but some of the bodies were not mine.
Oh.
When I come back to visit him after not seeing him for a long, long time, and I was an older gal, and then we're on the bed with lobster and banana, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And he threatens to kill me with a gun because I know too much. And then I realize it's a fun game. And then that's when they had this other woman's body. This woman, I guess in her 60s, or she could have been 70. It was naked, not me.
Wow. I'm gonna have to take another look at that, because the body looked.
I really had a woman's body. Oh, thanks.
No, the body looked pretty good.
We did that. I was in my 20s.
I thought the body looked pretty damn good in the movie, frankly.
Well, she did too, because she was doing nude standing stuff.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, I'm going to let you go, because we have been on a long time, and it was stressful getting on, but I'm really glad.
My hair went flat. And when we started, it was all fluffy.
I have pictures from when we first started. No, your hair looks great. You look beautiful. Everybody's been saying how gorgeous you are. Seriously. They want to know your beauty secrets. So
we'll do another show.
Okay.
We'll talk beauty.
Okay, we'll talk beauty. We'll talk beauty, we'll talk Bowie, and we'll talk everything that happened since.
Yeah, we'll elaborate on The Man Who Fell to Earth, and
great.
I'll bring you live to the set and tell you all about it.
And there's lots of there's Zodiac, there's Twin Peaks, there's
so many movies and TV things, and so there's a lot to talk about. And as you can see, I like to talk.
Next time we'll make sure the Zoom links work. Both times you've done this show, we've had tech problems, and I hate this platform because it's lagging, so I'm having trouble hearing you sometimes. Anyway, whatever. I'm glad we did it. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for spending this pandemic evening with us. Is it
going to be on Facebook? Will I be it?
Oh, yeah.
When's it go? When does it load over?
It's already on now. It's been live on Facebook this whole time. That's what we did. Yeah. Except it says
dog some more time.
It says
Randy Bowie.
It says Randy Coleman though, so I got to go in. I got to change that really fast.
Don't they see our picture?
Yes, they can see us. We're talking. They're here with us live.
Even though it says Randy.
Even though it's a dream. Yeah, they're still here.
Candy.
They're all saying thank you now. Catherine James saying thank you. Christina saying thank you.
Catherine?
Phil saying thank you.
Catherine's on?
Yeah, Catherine's on.
Catherine!
Yeah. And Marge is saying beautiful, look great. Yeah, everybody's.
She's my Catherine.
Catherine was on yesterday too when Dan Navarro was on. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, it's nice.
Catherine's a good person. Really good person.
She wrote a book. I wanted her to do Women Who Write years ago. She wrote a book.
She has an amazing life.
I don't know her life. I mean, I know the headlines, but I don't know her.
Hardship and pain and orphanage and
wow,
very wicked and
oh wow,
it's a great story. And
Catherine just said, "I love you, Candy Clark."
She goes through all of that, and you know she is still gorgeous, and she got into the rock world, and she has stories that you would love. Catherine, you got to do this.
Catherine, you got to do it. Catherine, we're going to have you on. I got to hear the story. Got to hear the stories.
She knows all the backstage stories.
Ooh, that sounds fun. I love it.
Right,
I love
Catherine?
Aris says, Candy and I were at Fratello's together once. Aris Kakis, my friend Aris, was with you at Fratello's. I don't know. So Catherine just said, yes, she'll be happy to do the show, I guess. She's saying, okay.
Please, Catherine.
Okay.
Put on your leopard coat. I put on a little feather. I thought I'd dress up for company.
You look fantastic. You look gorgeous, as you always do. You have excellent taste. I mean, I've run around with you quite a bit. You are an incredible dresser. You have amazing fashion sense. You do.
You know where I get most of my clothes?
Where?
Store.
It's unbelievable.
This is probably a $12 item.
Wow, it looks fantastic.
Of it with a feather collar.
Fantastic. You look fantastic.
I don't like spending money on clothes. It's a bad investment when you can buy them really nice at the secondhand store.
Fantastic.
In the dry cleaner.
Well, you do great. You always look amazing. You have a coat that you wore every time we ran, a couple times when we ran around, that I was coveting. I can't even remember what it looked like. It was just fantastic. And anyway, you dress, your fashion sense is amazing. And you're just a gorgeous woman. You have a beautiful face. You have a beautiful smile. You're just a beautiful woman. It's been lovely to gaze upon you for this time.
Yeah, I have a good time. Even in this weird era.
You do. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
You have helped me. You know, I was reluctant. I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? Same old stories. And I probably look really bad after, being contained for so long. But you made it really easy.
Well, thank you. And thanks so much for doing this. And I'm going to have you back and you'll tell us the rest of the stories. And
we'll pick up.
We'll pick up, and we can't pick up any drugs because I'm sober. We can pick up the stories. And I want to talk to you about, that, by the way.
Drugs.
I want to talk to you about that because I remember in the last time we talked, you talked about that you were like a teenage drunk or something, but then you don't have
teenage alcoholic. Yeah.
But you don't have, but you drink like a normal person now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to talk about that too.
For a while.
Okay,
yeah, I've got a lot of good stories.
We're going to hear all those stories. I love you. Thank you for doing this. And thank you all for joining us out there. And I'll see you tomorrow on Shooting the Shit with Vicki. And I love you, Candy Clark.
I'm going to give you keys. Mwah.
Mwah.